So in today's video, we're going to discuss why overweight Black women may be more of a target for the less than desirable white men out there. And we are going to discuss the foolproof strategies that Black women can use to avoid those men altogether, because they can be avoided, they can be dismissed, they can be curbed. And you want to make sure to stick around until the very end of the video, because I'm going to give you the real tea, like the real lowdown on this entire situation and my thoughts on why, honestly, girl, don't even stress it. You don't even need to be worried. So the first and likely most obvious reason why overweight Black women may be more of a target for the less than desirable white men out there is because some, definitely not all, but some overweight Black women have very low self-esteem. And low self-esteem is something that an abusive, predatory person can track from like thousands of miles away, from many miles away. And those predatory people are not just tracking that scent, but they are like actively, intentionally pursuing that scent and pursuing the individuals who emit that scent. The reason that these individuals even do that in the first place is that they need someone who they at least perceive to be beneath them in their lives to boost and to soothe their own fragile, fractured, fragmented egos. And honestly, in the society that we live in, like, it is ripe for predatory people to abuse others, especially people who are overweight, and especially Black women. And the society that we live in, at least here in America, it is okay, it is socially acceptable to mock, to belittle, to ridicule overweight people. And in the society that we live in, it is socially acceptable to mock, to ridicule, to belittle Black women. So when you take those two identities and merge them into one, being overweight and being a Black woman, the conditions are just right. The circumstances are right for a predatory, low vibrational person to swoop in and to be the jerk that they are. And it's pretty easy for those individuals, for those cruel, callous, thoughtless, inconsiderate, low vibrational human beings to just be who they are, because in many cases, again, this is not in all cases, but in many cases, Black women who have low self-esteem also have low to no expectations for their future partner. Generally speaking, those individuals, those women with that low self-esteem or no self-esteem, are just happy to have a partner. And when you have absolutely no expectations for your partner, and the expectations that are there are based on their terms and not your terms, then of course it is only natural that you are going to continuously, consistently attract the low-hanging fruit. Because here's the thing, a solid, real, genuine person with confidence, with self-esteem, is not even going to be attracted in the long term to someone who does not possess that trait as well. Confident people like confident people. And I'm not saying that we are all supposed to just be confident in all arenas of our lives at all times in our lives. Confidence is definitely a moving target, and it's more of a journey than a fixed destination. And at the same time, when you are someone whose default level of confidence is for the most part substantial and solid, you are going to find it draining to be with someone who has low self-esteem. You're going to find it to be very draining, and it's going to make for a relationship that's hard to sustain. And the reason being is that that person who has that low to no self-esteem is going to be constantly searching for validation outside of themselves, because they can't find validation within themselves. And the person that they are going to turn to primarily to receive that external validation is going to be you. And that puts a lot of pressure on you to consistently fill their cup. But the difference between a decent man and a dusty man is that the decent man will not honestly be able to sustain a relationship of that nature, and they will gracefully either try to build you up so that you can be stable on your own, or they will gracefully and compassionately let you go so that you can do the work to be the woman that you deserve to be. What a dusty man is going to do is he is going to cling and feed off of that negativity and of those low vibrations, and he is going to find joy and entertainment in you not feeling your own sense of worth. He will absolutely love being able to make you the saddest that you have ever been in your entire life. He will take just as much joy in that as he will in being able to make you the happiest that you've ever been in your life. Which, speaking of happiness, another reason why overweight Black women can be a target for dusty white men is that there are just too many Black women out there, at least in my opinion and from what I have seen online and in the real world as well. There are too many Black women who are just way too happy to receive any and all attention from a white man. I have seen Black women that have accepted, that have eagerly accepted advances from white men that they would have never, not once in their life, ever accepted from a Black man or from a man of color. They would not have accepted it, at least not in the same way, with the same excitement that they received this advance from a white man. So if you have that mindset, plus low self-esteem, plus little to no expectations for your future partner, then girl, at that point, you're not even low-hanging fruit. You are just laying on the ground waiting to be picked up by whoever comes along. But all is not lost, and truthfully, all is never lost. In any situation in life, just know that all is never lost. You may be a target today, but that does not mean that you have to be a target tomorrow. These men can be avoided, and all that you have to do is to reverse the mindsets and behaviors that make these men think that they have a chance with you in the first place. And you know what? Like I said, they may have a chance with you in the first place, but that does not mean that they will have a chance with you in the second place or in the third place. For example, if you are an overweight Black woman who has low self-esteem, and that low self-esteem keeps attracting these lame ass dudes, then you, my dear, you have to boost your self-esteem, or you at least have to fake it. You have to pretend that your self-esteem is boosted until it actually is boosted. And I know that this may sound harsh, this may sound insensitive, and this probably isn't even breaking news. But to boost your self-esteem genuinely and for a sustainable period of time, you may have to lose some of that weight. And, remember that a lot of the times the weight isn't even really the problem. The weight is the manifestation, the external manifestation of some deep-seated, deeply rooted problem. And it is your job to get to the root of that problem, to yank out that root and to replace that space that's now hollow with unconditional love and unconditional belief in yourself and in your worth. And while you're working on yourself, I don't necessarily think that you have to be alone. Sure, it's probably easier to make a transformation when you are by yourself and when you're just focusing on yourself and your own well-being, but I don't think that that is the prerequisite to making a change, to making a transformation. But if you want to put yourself out there, then please do me, someone who loves you and just wants the best for you. That's all I want for you. Please make sure that you set reasonable, realistic realistic and reasonable expectations for your future partner. And here's the catch here. Here's the catch. Make reasonable and realistic expectations from the mindset of the woman that you plan to become, that you will become. Make reasonable, realistic expectations that will fulfill her wants and needs, because that's where you want to be and that's what you want to have. Don't use the expectations from the place that you're at now, because when you get to where you're going, it's not going to be enough to sustain you. So set realistic, reasonable expectations for yourself from the higher version of yourself, and then do not compromise and do not settle for anything less than those expectations. And I just want to say, for anyone out there that needs to hear this, maybe no one needs to hear this and I'm just being repetitive, but please, please remember that white men are not just like the prize. White men are not the prize. They are an option. They are an alternative. They are a choice. They are a path. They are a route, but they are not the prize. They are human beings. They are fallible, and they are as good as their morals and their values and the expectations that you set for how they are to treat you. And I just want to share it with you all. I'm going off script right now, like I'm closing my laptop and I'm just telling you the real deal from my own experiences. I have never been a small girl, ever. Not once in my life have I ever been a small girl. And I have dated some high quality white men. I have dated some white men who I did that. But what I want to get at by saying that is I'm not by any means trying to say that looks don't matter. And I'm not trying to say that your weight might not metaphorically drain your dating pool options. But what I am saying is that weight is not everything. How you feel about yourself and the way in which you perceive yourself and the worth that you perceive yourself to possess or to lack, that is everything. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. And until next time, stay safe, be well, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.